भूतग्रामः सहेवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यागमे वशः पार्थ प्रभवत्यः रागमे परस्तस्मात् तु भावोऽन्यः अव्यक्तो व्यक्तात् सनातनः यः सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः तमाहु परमां गतिम् यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम पुरुषः स परः पार्थ भक्त्या लभ्यस्तनन्यया यस्यान्तस्तानि भूतानि येन सर्वमिदं ततम् यत्र काले त्वनावृत्तिम् आवृत्तिं चैव योगिनः प्रयाता यान्ति तं कालम् वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभ अग्निर्ज्योतिरः शुक्लः षण्मासा उत्तरायणम् तत्र प्रयाता गच्छन्ति ब्रह्म ब्रह्मविदो जनाः धूमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णः षण्मासा दक्षिणायनम् तत्र चान्द्रमसं ज्योतिः योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते शुक्ल कृष्णे गतिह्येते जगतः शाश्वते मते एकया यात्यनावृत्तिम् अन्यया वर्तते पुनः नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम्
सह वीर्यंकरवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति। We are continuing the study with verse number 20. But there exists other than that unmanifest, another unmanifest, which is eternal, which is not destroyed when all beings are destroyed. So he says, but there exists higher than the unmanifested, yet another unmanifested being, eternal, which is not destroyed when all beings are destroyed. So till now in this topic, he has been talking about the world, the creation of the world and dissolution of the world. It keeps coming, it keeps going. So these two he has been talking till now. Now he is saying distinct and different from this is something. Avyaktam A, Avyaktam B. Avyaktam number 1, Avyaktam number 2. That's what he's saying. There are two Avyaktams. Higher than that unmanifest, higher than that, Vyaktam is Avyaktam, and there is something other than that also. So he's saying there are two Avyaktams. Avyaktam number 1 and Avyaktam number 2. Avyaktam A and Avyaktam B. Now, what is he saying till now? First, we will understand the Vyaktam and Avyaktam, and then we will come to another Avyaktam. First, you will understand first you will have ordinary Avyaktam, and then we will come to this Avyaktam number 2. So, Vyaktam is manifestation, arrival, creation. Avyaktam is dissolution. Understand it like that, it becomes easy. He's not complicating. He's not saying anything new that we haven't studied till now. In Vedanta, we will never study anything new. The same thing we will be hearing again and again and again, but they will make it sound as though it is new. That's all, nothing new. It's the same thing again and again and again it will come. So, Srishti and Pralaya. Yes, he has been talking about. Srishti means the creation. Pralaya means the dissolution. And when we say creation and dissolution, Srishti and Pralaya, we have to be very clear with this word Srishti. In Vedantic language, whenever we talk about Srishti, and the Srishti has to be translated into English as creation, it is not creation, it is manifestation. That is why we use the word Vyaktam. So Srishti must be used synonymously with manifestation, Vyaktam. Where there is a Srishti, where there is a creation, where there is a manifestation, it will be followed by unmanifest. Manifestation will be followed by unmanifestation. Day will be followed by night. Birth will be followed by death. Okay. This is only half the cycle. If day is followed by night, what will follow night? If night follows day, what will follow night? Day. If birth follows death, what will follow death? That we get confused. That we will say, no, sir, this is cheating. This you are not saying it rightly. Day follows night, and night will follow. If where there is a birth, there is a death. And definitely where there is a death, there has to be a birth. Tatraka paridevana, in verse number 28, chapter 2, which we referred last week. He said it very clearly. It will birth will follow by death, and death will follow by birth. What are you crying about? What is there for you to cry? Where when we talk about creation, we believe that something is there, it is created. Created means it wasn't there, it has come into being now. The English word creation would mean that. In Sanskrit, in Vedanta, when we make creation, it means manifestation. In Vedanta, whenever we talk about creation, it means manifestation. And manifestation will be followed by a period of unmanifestation. So manifestation is called Srishti, creation. Unmanifestation is called Pralaya, dissolution. All this he has already said. What is the creation of the universe? We say universe isn't created and all, it manifests. That's why we say it is never created, it comes into manifestation. Manifestation is called Srishti, unmanifestation is called Pralaya. Krishna gives two names for that. Vyaktam, Avyaktam. Srishti, Pralaya. Vyaktam, Avyaktam. Thus, the entire universe is arrival, departure. Vyaktam, Avyaktam. Vyaktam, Avyaktam. Vyaktam, Avyaktam. That is very clear now. Then he goes on to say, what is this nature of manifest and unmanifest? The fundamental distinction between manifest and unmanifest is the manifest is available for sense organs to transact. That's all. Whenever we talk about creation, whenever we talk about manifestation, it is available for sense organs to contact. And when we say it is unmanifest, there is no instrument that can contact. This is the fundamental difference between the two. Again, I repeat. All these are very basics, elementary. These are all not, when you go to the second avyaktam, only philosophy is starting. This first, this vyaktam and avyaktam is very, in a way it is common sense only, isn't it? In a way it is common sense. But common sense is not so common. So in philosophy class also we have to talk about that. So what is this vyaktam and what is this avyaktam? What is the fundamental difference between vyaktam and avyaktam? Vyaktam means it is available for sense transactions. Sense organs can transact. It means it is manifest. Unmanifest means it is not available for transacting through any instruments. It is there, but not available for transaction in a frozen state. You can understand it like that. It is there. It's not that it is not dissolved. It is there, but not available for transaction. That is avyaktam. Now we come to the verse 20. All along we are discussing verse 20 only. Now we are going to discuss what he means by another avyaktam. He said there is another avyaktam. It means we have to understand the fundamental differences between vyaktam and avyaktam and what is common to both. Okay. Vyaktam and avyaktam, number one, we are discussing now. Let us say it like that. Because when we say avyaktam, 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 he knows what he is saying. But as a listener, we don't know what he is referring to. No. As a listener, we will get confused as to what he is referring. Therefore, we will segregate it. So, vyaktam and avyaktam, number one. What is the similarity and what is the dissimilarity? That has to be very clear. What is the similarity? Both are changing. That is the similarity. What is the dissimilarity? One is available for instruments, sense organs. Another is not available for instruments, sense organs. That is a dissimilarity. So there is a similarity and then there is a dissimilarity. So much you have to know to understand what he is saying by avyaktam number 2 now. If you understand, if you know all this, then you will understand what he means by avyaktam number 2. இதனால என்ன பிரயோஜனம் சார்? What is the பிரயோஜனம் of studying all this? வியக்தம், அவ்வியக்தம், number 1, number 2, இதெல்லாம் let Krishna keep it to himself. Let Vedanta keep it to himself. What is the benefit of, what is the prayojana? What is the benefit of all this analysis, which seems so no connection at all to life. It seems to have no connection at all to life. Vyaktam, avyaktam, and then avyaktam number 2, avyaktam A, avyaktam B. What is all this? So in verse number 20, he is introducing avyakta number 2. Now there are 3 entities now. So in verse number 20, we have come to 3 entities. What are the 3 entities? Vyaktam, avyaktam A, avyaktam B. Vyaktam, avyaktam number 1 and avyaktam number 2. Very simple. Understand it like that, we will know. We have studied all this before. It's not that we have not studied all this before. If I say the names that he has used in the previous chapters and all, you will say we will move on to the next verse, sir. We have understood it. And why they don't use the same names again, and why they have to keep using different words or same word meaning so many things. If they use the same word, we will simply memorize and no scope for thinking. If he uses words like this, at least one person will wake up and think. That is the reason. If they keep the words clear and they go on repeating the same words, it is easy to memorize, but not understand. For understanding to happen, thinking should happen. And for thinking to happen, different words meaning the same thing should be used. Same word meaning so many things also has to be used. If they are doing like that, what will happen? Confusion alone will come. That's why Arjuna keeps on asking, tell me clearly, tell me clearly, tell me clearly. And we should also ask, tell me clearly. And more you ask, tell me clearly, more confusing it will get. That is why they keep using these words. So we have to be very clear as to why they use this kind of, why they use this kind of methodology of teaching. Vyaktam is universe. Vyaktam is universe. Avyaktam has a meaning of eternal. Avyaktam means eternal also. But then we have studied already. Maya is eternal. We have studied already in the previous chapter. In the second chapter, we went through all those analyses. Maya is eternal. And then avyaktam number 2 now. Third entity. This is also eternal. Abdinna, are there 2 eternities then? Avyaktam number 2 is eternal, number 1. Avyaktam number 2 is eternal, number 2. No, there are no 2 eternities, for there is that is why very beautifully he says they are distinct and dissimilar. You have to understand this. Idallam thinking. You have to understand both are distinct and dissimilar. What is distinct and dissimilar means? First is, what is distinction? If I say, get a chair from the room. There may be so many chairs, similar chairs in the room, and I'm just asking you to get one chair. Are you able to follow this example? I say, get one chair. Similar. There are so many similar things. You can choose any one chair and bring. That is similar. Dissimilar means distinct and dissimilar. Dissimilar means, distinction means similar but two different. Dissimilar means both are, there are no two same chairs at all in the room. That is distinct and dissimilar. Again, I repeat. Starting sir. Yeah, from the starting only it is going over there. Normally, normally there will be some, slowly you will build up, and then confusion will be there only for 15-20 minutes, and then we'll go back to our normal way. In starting it is confusing. Very important verse, no? These are all the core messages of Vedanta, the core knowledge. So, little bit we will stretch ourselves for a few minutes, and then we'll go back to our original. So, distinct and dissimilar. Two chairs are, they are distinct. Same chair, but two. Are you able to follow? Dissimilar means wooden chair and a plastic chair. Supposing there is a wooden chair and a plastic chair in the room, and I'll tell you, get me a chair. What will you do? What will you do? Sir. There's something I will come and give. You will ask, what will you ask? Which one? Which one? Because they are dissimilar. Supposing there are three chairs and all three are the same, and I say get one chair from that room, you will have no problem at all. Why? There are only that three, and anyone you can bring. This Vyaktam and Avyaktam has to be understood as what? Paraha, Anyaha. The two words he uses. Paraha and Anyaha. Paraha also means different. Anyaha also means different. Now, why is he saying different twice? Different twice. It means there are two kinds. What are the two kinds? It is distinct and dissimilar. Even though we use the word Avyaktam as eternal for both, there is a fundamental differences between the two Avyaktams. There is a fundamental difference between the two Avyaktams. What is the fundamental difference? While one Avyaktam is called Maya, eternal, changing. This Brahman here, he uses the word eternal for this Avyaktam in the verse. Sanatanaha. In the verse itself, he has used the word Sanatanaha. Sanatanaha means never subject to change. Never subject to change. What is it that is never subject to change? You can call it as Purusha. You can call it as Chaitanya. If you have to refer it to chapter 7, you can call it as Paraprakriti. There we studied Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti. Adala syllabus lende poidichu, isn't it? We even forgot we used those kind of terms and terms, Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti. All this can be called like that. Therefore, what is the difference between these two? Vyakta means manifest. Avyakta is unmanifest, Maya. And Avyakta number 2 is Brahman. Avyakta number 2 is Brahman. Now, what is Brahman? Now we have to understand what is Brahman. No. Okay, Brahman cannot be understood. Maya can be understood. Brahman cannot be understood. Maya can be transcended. There is no transcending Brahman. Yeah. So there are fundamental differences between the two. And what is nature of Brahman, eternal? It is consciousness. Brahman means consciousness. Use the word consciousness. It becomes clear. And what is consciousness? First principle about consciousness is Consciousness is an independent entity. It is independent of the instruments. It is independent of the world. So what is consciousness? It is independent. What is consciousness? It enlivens. Enlivening. What is consciousness? It is not limited by the boundaries. Waking state has a boundary. Dream state has a boundary. Deep sleep state has a boundary. Consciousness has no boundaries. Birth of the body is not birth of consciousness. Death of the body is not death of consciousness. Again, birth of the body is not birth of consciousness. Death of the body is not death of consciousness. Finally, you are that consciousness. You need to learn to associate with that consciousness and say, I am that consciousness. And when you say, I am that consciousness, I am that Tattvamasi Shvetaketu, Tattvamasi Shvetaketu, when they say, how do you understand it? Birth of the body is not birth of me. Apdi connect pannum ellame. This practice is called Nididhyasana. Birth of the body is not my birth. Death of the body is not my death. The waker, dreamer, deep sleeper are conditioned by the boundaries. The waker is conditioned by the waker's boundary. The dreamer is conditioned by the dreamer's boundary. That's why we can't exchange, From waking state to dream state, you can't exchange anything, isn't it? In the waking state, you are rich. In the dream state, you are poor. You can't borrow from the waking state and take it to the dream state, no? Exchange things don't. It's because it is they cannot transcend the boundary. Consciousness is not part of the body. When we say body, means body, mind, intellect all put together. Whenever we say body, it means body, mind, intellect. So consciousness is not part of the body. Consciousness is not product of the body. And consciousness is not a property of the body. All this we know about consciousness. So avyaktam number 2. Avyaktam number 1 is what? Unmanifest, Maya, instruments don't access, changing. Meaning from manifest it is, from unmanifest it is becoming manifest. No, it is changing. Are you able to follow the difference? Very, very beautiful differences, very subtle differences, very beautiful differences. From avyaktam it is becoming vyaktam. From unmanifest it is becoming manifest. Then what is the difference between this avyaktam and that avyaktam? Sir, we are not asking for, we are not interested in all this, we are not asking for all this. Feel like saying stop it, no? Don't worry, you will not stop. That control you don't have. Another Larry mute panyach, isn't it? Even you can scream, but still I will not hear. So I will keep talking as though everybody is listening only. So what is this difference between that avyaktam and this avyaktam? That avyaktam is Maya, it is eternal, it is changing, manifest to unmanifest, and all this is that property. And what is this unmanifest? This unmanifest is what is this unmanifest? This unmanifest, he says, is avyaktam, which is sanatanaha. This avyaktam is sanatana. And what does sanatana means? Eternal. Then we have to, then we need to know the distinction between the two. What is the similarity between the two avyaktams? Instruments can't reach. There is one similarity between the two avyaktams. Avyaktam 1 க்கும் avyaktam 2 க்கும் ஒரே similarity. What is the similarity? Instruments cannot reach. That doesn't mean both are same. They are distinct. அதுக்கு தான் two words he used. Same chair, different chair. Example இதுக்கு தான். Are you able to follow now? We say this is also cannot be transcend. This also cannot be. Instruments cannot reach this. And then we say instrument cannot reach that also. Oh, abdina rendume instruments can't reach. No, there is a difference between the two. Paraha, anyaha. Two words. Paraha and anyaha. These two. There are these two. What are these two? There it is eternal changing. Eternal changing means eternally changing into manifest and manifest. Eternal changing. Now, eternally changing into what? Eternally changing to manifest and manifest. Eternally going through the cycle of waking, dream, deep sleep. Eternally going through the cycle of waking, dream, deep sleep. Eternally going through the cycle of punarjanma. Again and again and again. Unless you identify with the avyaktam number 2, you can never get out of the cycle. Unless you identify with avyaktam number 2, you cannot get out of the cycle. So in order to get out of the cycle, identify with avyaktam number 2. And what is avyaktam number 2? We call it as consciousness, Brahman, and first thing, consciousness is an independent entity. Birth of the body is not birth of consciousness. Death of the body is not death of consciousness. Consciousness is not part of the body. Consciousness is not product of the body. And consciousness is not a property of the body. Three things, no? Part, product, property. And consciousness has nothing to do with all these. It is independent. Then comes the last thing. What? Senses cannot reach there. Body, mind, intellect cannot. Body, mind, and intellect cannot reach there. The same in the 15th chapter is going to take it as Vyaktam, he is going to call it as Kshara. Avyakta number 1, he is going to call it as Akshara. Avyaktam number 2, he is going to call it as Uttama Purusha. So there in 15th chapter, he is going to talk about it as Kshara Purusha. Vyaktam is going to be called as Kshara Purusha. Avyaktam number 1 is going to be called as Akshara Purusha. And Avyaktam number 2 is going to be called as Uttama Purusha. Uttama Purushas Anyaha. Even there he used the same word Anyaha. Paraha and Anyaha. It means distinct. They can be distinct but similar. Adhan. Distinct 3 chairs, but all are made up of the same. Are you able to follow the logic? Distinct and similar. Here we say, no. It is distinct and dissimilar. It is distinct and dissimilar. Unless we study Vedanta in this manner, we never know how logical, how mathematical they are in their analysis. Otherwise, we'll just keep thinking that there are some verses and we just keep moving from verse to verse to verse. So analytical and so precise in their thinking. That's why he says Anyaha and Paraha, to prove that it is distinct and dissimilar. The Sanskrit word that he uses in the verses is tu. Tu means but. Tu means but. In the modern day language, tu means however. After saying everything, if the person continues, however, abdina, what do you understand? Padri, Purida. After saying for half an hour, finally, if they say, however, abdina enna artham? He's going to say exactly the opposite of meeting la. I understand all that you said. However, abdina, all are going to get demolished, isn't it? Because something is going to be told which is so opposite. That's why he uses the word tu. So he uses the word tu to mean avyaktam number 2. It means what? All that we know about vyaktam and avyaktam is going to be completely different from this. Completely different from this. Saha na vinashyati. Saha na vinashyati. Meaning it is imperishable. Nashya means nasha. Nasha means unreliable. Nashta, nasha, nashya all means the same. Meaning what? Unreliable. You understand that, no? Nasha means unreliable. Nashta means unreliable. Cannot be dependent upon. And the share, and the company share la podadingo. Nashtam aidunna, what does it mean? Loss. What is the loss? It's not the loss of wealth. Nashta means it's not reliable. So anything that is changing is not anything that is changing is not reliable. Since all that you know are changing, all that you know are not reliable. Reliable for what? Reliable for what? Reliable for your sukham. Reliable for your peace. Reliable for your happiness. They are not reliable. Reliable for what? Reliable for peace. Reliable for happiness. Therefore, saha na vinashyati sarveshu bhuteshu nashyastu. Even when all perishes, this doesn't perish. These are all the definitions which we already explained. Birth of the body, when all this goes, consciousness doesn't go. When everything comes, they are aware of it. Consciousness comes. It is not that, therefore, we will conclude wrongly what? Birth of the body is birth of consciousness. Birth of the universe, manifestation of the universe is manifestation of consciousness. It means when everything goes into pralaya, unmanifest, God also will go to sleep. That's why Puranic story says, Brahma will go to sleep, Narayana never sleeps. Narayana is Brahman, reference. Not the story Narayana that we are thinking of, Brahman. Brahma will go to sleep. Narayana will never go to sleep. He will be pretending as though he is sleeping. He never goes, because if he sleeps, what happened? He cannot sleep. Why? Insomnia, isn't it? He cannot sleep. Why? Consciousness can never become unconscious. The consciousness can never become unconscious. Therefore, it is avyaktam. So whenever we talk about avyaktam here, what he means is Brahman. And this Brahman has to be equated as consciousness. And this consciousness formula is Mandukya Upanishad mantra number 7. Mandukya Upanishad mantra number 7. My reference note panni vechungo. Even if you take that verse and read, you will not understand. Nantah pragyam, na bahish pragyam, no bhayatah pragyam, My God. Prajnanadanam na prajnam, na prajnam. You, beautiful mantra it is. Okay, to put it in English, okay, Sanskrit lesson, to put it in English, it is not that which is conscious of the internal world, nor that which is conscious of the external world, nor that which is conscious of both, nor that which is a mass of consciousness, only field of consciousness, no sir, field of energy, no, not that also, nor that which is, oh, just ordinary, just consciousness, no, simple consciousness, no, no, not that also, nor is it unconsciousness, it is unseen by any instrument, beyond vyavahara. Vyavahara means dealings, incomprehensible by the mind, uninferable by the intellect, indescribable by the words. Essentially, the self, negation of all phenomena. It is auspicious, it is advayam. This is turiya. This is the definition of turiya. This is turiya. Chaturtham Shivam Advaitam. Mandukya Upanishad says, what is the nature of this consciousness? It is Shivam. Shivam means auspicious. Shivam Advaitam. Another, Shantam. What is the nature of the consciousness? Mandukya Upanishad. Three definitions. Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. Sa Atma. Sa Atma means this is Atman. Sa Vijñeyaha. Sa Vijñeyaha. This you should know. It's a command. It cannot be known, it cannot be known, it cannot be known so little. Then it gives a command. This Atman should be known. That is Avyaktam number 2. This is Avyaktam number 2. Are you able to follow? Connected, you can, I give this reference of the Upanishadic mantra so that we know the differences. Otherwise, he is only saying, otherwise, what is the verse is simply saying? The verse is simply saying only one thing, what? There exists higher than the unmanifested, yet another unmanifested being. He is not saying all this. In the story, we are spinning these stories. Maybe if Krishna is sitting in this classroom, he will get up and say, which Gita are you talking about? Yeah, he may even get up and ask, which Gita are you talking? Unga Gita Dana, I never said all this. He may say that also. Isn't it? We are spinning these stories. What is the story? He says, but two, however, there exists higher than the unmanifested, yet another unmanifested, eternal, which is not destroyed when all objects and beings gets destroyed. What is that Avyaktam? Arjuna, to put it in a very common sense, to put it in a very simple language, creation, dissolution, Srishti, Pralaya, manifest, unmanifest keeps happening eternally. In this manifest and unmanifest, there are grades of manifestation. The lowest of manifestation is lowest Naraka. In the manifestation, there is manifestation has a spectrum. Manifestation or spectrum. What is that spectrum? The lowest of Naraka to the highest of Swarga. Lowest of Naraka, highest of Swarga, Brahmaloka, and both are subject to, both keeps changing. Cyclically, you keep going through this. And why do you keep going through this cyclically? Why do you keep going through this cyclically? Because you are unnecessarily doing action. Unnecessarily, you are keeping the likes and dislikes alive. Since you are unnecessarily keeping the likes and dislikes alive, this Vyaktam, Avyaktam, you will be a victim of it. You will be a victim of this Vyaktam and Avyaktam. What is, so when you are in Vyaktam, you go through the spectrum. What is the spectrum? Broadly three. Naraka is one end. Swarga is another end. Heaven and hell. But then we have understood heaven and hell are not geographical places. It's all the state of mind. So one end of the mind is what? Depression, sinking in sorrow, suicidal. Another end of the mind is, another extreme is what? Excited state, where everything looks so beautiful. So suddenly butterflies will look beautiful, sunrise will look beautiful, sunset will look beautiful, everything will look so wonderful, even the summer will look very, very beautiful. Then they will turn back and ask, are you in love? Because suddenly everything is looking beautiful. No, that is Swarga. What is Naraka? Nothing will look beautiful. Even the best of the things, you will feel like even the best of the things you are in touch with, still you will be in either Swarga, either Naraka. And then there is Mishram. Mishram is in between, mix of both, either manifest. Another name for Vyaktam is Namarupa. Another name for Vyaktam is Namarupa. So Vyaktam is one kind of Namarupa. Avyaktam number one is another kind of Namarupa. But both are subject to change. And you go through this manifest and manifest cycle. What keeps you in the cycle? Your karmas keeps you in the cycle. The karmas keeps you in the cycle. That is why you can never go to God and ask this question. Why did you do this to me? You can never ask God this question. You know why? Why are you doing this to me? You can never ask God this question. Why? He will say, where did I do that? You did it to yourself, he will say. You are the one who is doing it to yourself. I only make sure that it comes to you correctly. Here, what is God now? God is like the auditor. Yeah, he will make sure that what needs to come to you will come to you. That's why in Vedanta, we say God as karma pala data. One who ensures that the result comes to you according to your karmas. And the biggest misunderstanding is this. People think I can do whatever karmas I want, and by me worshipping God, all karmas will get wiped out. Bhakti is seen as a tool to escape karma. Bhakti is seen as a tool to escape karma. Because I can do what all I want. All that I need to go to simply go and surrender to God. Saranagati da sir. You simply surrender to God. That's it. He will take care of. He will take care. What he will take care? He will make sure that all your karmas he will come and erase. If he is erasing the karma, it means he is going against the law. We have a very poor understanding of God, because God and law are one and the same. They are not different. God means law. Law means God. They are one and the same. How to overcome this cycle is what we are discussing now. In that context, he is not saying all this, Venkat. அவர் இந்த வருஷத்துல அவர் சொல்லல, நானும் கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா டைம் எடுத்து சொல்லின்னு இருக்கிறேன் இல்லையா, மன்னிச்சுக்கோங்க இல்லையா சார். ஸ்டிக் டு த வர்ஸ் அப்படின்னு வர அவர் இல்லையா, ஸ்டிக் டு த வர்ஸ் அண்ட் டாக் அப்படின்னு ஐ கெட் அ வாட்ஸ்அப் மெசேஜ் இல்லையா. அதனால ஐ ஹேவ் டு டேக் பர்மிஷன்ஸ். Anshu, you think I'm talking freely? No, I'm not free at all. Everybody tells me what I should talk and what I should not talk, how much time I should talk also. So he's not saying all this. We are extending it to say how to get out of this, how to get out of this, how to get out of the cycle, or what keeps you in the cycle is your karmas, is that which keeps you in the karmas is that which keeps you in the cycle. And how do you transcend the karmas? How do you transcend the karma? Identify with avyaktam number 2. How to transcend the karma? Start identifying with avyaktam number 2. Say that the birth of the body is because of the karma. I am not this. Keep identify with, the moment you start identifying with that avyaktam number 2, and what is the nature of that avyaktam number 2? Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. Mandukya Upanishad mantra. Every mantra gives one definition. In this context, I am using these 3. Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. Learn to segregate. You will analyze it. We learn how to segregate. What is the segregation? Nama Rupa and all that functions according to the law of karma, and I am the consciousness. That's segregation. Nama Rupa, everything goes according to the law of the Nama Rupa. What you do, you have to experience all that you go, all that is governed by the law of karma. And who are you? Consciousness. You are that Brahman. You are that consciousness. If you forget that you are consciousness, you will be bound by this. So what is Nididhyasana? Nididhyasana is a remembrance of who you are. It is not brainwashing you to believe what you are not. Remember that. Nididhyasana is a remembrance of who you are. Why? Because of association with the karmas, with the instrument and all that, you are forgetting who you are. Not only you are forgetting who you are not, you are saying I am that. That which you are not, you are saying I am that. That which you are not remembering that. Vyaktam and avyaktam and all happens independent of you, Arjuna. This Vyaktam and Avyaktam and all happens independent of me, he said in chapter 7. In chapter 8, he is saying it happens independent of you also, Arjuna. Why? Because you and me are one and the same. Therefore, it happens independent of you. Therefore, what do you do? Identify rightly. Identify rightly. And what is the right identification? Birth of the body is not my birth. Death of the body is not my death. Then who comes into the body and who goes out of the body? Who comes into the body and who goes out of the body? Other instruments, Prakriti. As long as karmas are there, they will exist. Once karmas exhaust, they cease to exist. Once karmas exhaust, they cease to exist. Therefore, the verse. What is the verse now? Parastasmat tu bhavonyah avyakto vyaktat sanatanah yassa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. This is verse number 20. We move on to verse number 21.
अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः तमाहुः परमां गतिम् यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः तमाहुः परमां गतिम् यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम.
Unmanifested is called the imperishable. It is said to be the ultimate goal. Those who reach it do not return. That is my supreme abode. Again, the unmanifested is called the imperishable. It is said to be the ultimate goal. Those who reach it do not return. That is my supreme abode. Now, what is he saying? That avyaktam that he spoke about in the previous verse, what he called as sanatana, here he is called it as akshara. Na ksharati iti akshara. That which cannot be, that which cannot perish at all is akshara, imperishable. And this avyaktam, this word aksharam, they keep interchanging. In some context, the word akshara will mean maya vasanas. Here, sometimes akshara will mean Brahman. So you need to know the flow, you need to know the context to understand this. What is it? The unmanifested is called the imperishable. It is said to be the ultimate goal. Those who reach it do not return. Very famous confirmation from Bhagavad Gita. Yam prapya na nivartante taddama paramam mama. Ones who reach there do not return. Do not return means they can never get back into the cycle of vyaktam avyaktam. They can get back into the cycle of manifest and unmanifest. That unmanifested is called the imperishable. It is called the imperishable. So what is the imperishable? Consciousness is imperishable. So in that sense, Akshara means Brahman, that is consciousness. That Avyaktam is Brahman and that Brahman is consciousness. Iti Uktaha. That is the beauty. Iti Uktaha. Ityuktaha. Ityuktaha means Iti Uktaha. Iti Uktaha means as they say, they call it. Who calls it? Who are they? the Vedas, the Upanishads, the enlightened masters, the Vedas, the Upanishads, iti yuktaha. They say, what do they say? It is unmanifest, it is imperishable, and they who reach it never return. That we will come to later. They say this is the highest goal. Who are saying it? Please understand, your senses will not say it as the highest goal. The body, mind, intellect will not say this as the highest goal. Who says this as the highest goal? The scriptures say this as the highest goal. It is the Shastra Pramanam that is calling it as the highest goal, not the Pramanam of the senses, not the Pramanam of Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Upamana. Because if someone is saying it, means they are not just saying it. What is meant is authoritative, convincingly, final authority. So when they say scriptures say, it's not ordinary saying. It's not like the newspaper saying. It is final, final, conclusively proven. Pramanam, Shastra Pramanam. They say it is the highest. Why we have to take the Shastra Pramanam to say this as the supreme goal, the highest goal? If you remove the Shastra Pramanam, what other Pramanams you have? What other authorities you have? The other authorities you have is the senses and the mind. What will they tell you? What will they ask you to do? What will they tell you to do? What is it that they want all the time? What does the senses want all the time? What does the mind want all the time? Instant, immediate. Instant, immediate. Happiness. Instant happiness. Immediate happiness. And that instant, immediate, permanent happiness. Look at the lack of clarity of the senses and the mind. Are you able to follow? They are asking for instant, immediate, qualitative, permanent. The நாலும் சேர்ந்து போகுமா? Can these four go together? Can these four coexist? They cannot coexist. Therefore, you cannot go by the pramanam of the world, the senses, the sciences of the world and all that. Why? Because what they are asking is not possible at all. You can get instant happiness. That is possible. No doubt about it. You can get instant happiness. But longevity of that will not be there. No. It will immediately diminish. No. You may get instant happiness. But the pain that is going to follow that is more. No. The 2 minutes of pain, if it is followed only by 2 minutes of sorrow, there is no problem in life. Huh? Teju, it becomes so easy, no? If 2 minutes of joy is followed only by 2 minutes of sorrow, life is not that problematic at all. But the 2 minutes of joy seems to follow 200 years of sorrow, isn't it? Joy takkunu poyidhu sir. The sorrow doesn't seem to. Time freezes when you are in sorrow. It doesn't move at all. When you are in joy, time flies, isn't it? Time flies when you are in joy. Time doesn't move at all when you are in sorrow. This being the nature of the world, and this is what you will be getting from the world. None of this cannot be called as the highest goal. So, what all the senses, the mind from the world says cannot be the highest goal. So, it means all these pramanams are negated. Then what are you left with? There is only one pramanam. What is that pramanam? Shastra pramanam. Vedantic pramanam, the pramanam of the Vedas, the pramanam of Vedanta, the Upanishads. Iti uktaha, they say. Because they are the one who have analyzed all this. They are the one who have thought about it. They are the one who have analyzed all this. They are the ones who have understood it rightly. Since they have thought about it, they have analyzed it rightly, they have understood it rightly, you should not be having any problems in accepting them as the authority. Iti uktaha. Iti uktaha. They say. What do they say? Paramam gatim. They say paramam gatim. Paramam gatim means the supreme goal. And what is the supreme goal? If you see the quantum of happiness of Brahmaloka, what Brahma gets, that looks like the supreme goal. That's the comparison you have to do. If you see Brahma, the Brahmaloka, the joy and all that of Brahma, if you sit and actually thought about it, that itself looks like the Paramam Gatim, supreme goal. That itself looks like the Paramam Gatim, supreme goal. What does he say here? That cannot be called Paramam Gatim. Why? You come back. You come back. Brahma will go back to, it's not Brahma will become enlightened. Brahma will go back. You will fall from the status of Brahma. But here what it is? Yam prapya. Prapya means having attained. Having attained. Whoever has attained that, they say, Yad gatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. Yad gatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. Again and again in the Bhagavad Gita, a few times he keeps repeating the same thing. Having reached there, there is no getting back. Having reached there, there is no getting back. Then we have to understand the difference. Again, we have to do the analysis. Vedanta itself means analysis, knowledge analysis. What is analysis? Anything you attain in the world, you have to lose it. All attainments in the world will be lost. All attainments will be lost. Nashta will come. It's only the time that differs. You may have it, your children may lose it, or you may have it, your children may have it, your grandchildren may lose it. Okay, you may have it, your children may have it, your grandchildren may have it. Tsunami will come and take it away. Earthquake can come and take it away. Therefore, all attainments in the world are subject to nasha. Here, it is not an attainment, it is recognizing that which is there already. Therefore, you do not get back. Based on this, we keep saying this again and again and again. If enlightenment is an attainment, if enlightenment is an achievement, if moksha is an achievement, if moksha is an attainment, after a few years, or maybe after a few janmas, or maybe after a period of time, you will lose it. Because all attainments are bound, all attainments fall under a law. What is the law? That which is a product of action will perish. That is why it's called phala, result. If moksha is the result of an action, it will perish. That's why the Sanskrit word, we don't use the word result, we use the word phala. That's why we say karma phala. Isn't it? Karma phala. Hindi also you say the same thing. Huh? Huh? And if I say anything in Hindi, everybody in my house starts laughing. Huh? Because my Hindi is like Tamil, my English is like Tamil, so I don't say anything at all. Yeah, what to do? Yeah. What do you call that in Hindi? Karma phala. Same thing. What is the nature of phala? Fruit. Phala means fruit. What is the nature of the fruit? You just leave the fruit. What happens? Leave the fruit. What happens? Either you can consume it and exhaust it. Yeah. Or just keep it there. Next day, what happens? Third day, what happens? Fifth day, what happens? This is karma. That's why it's called phala. One of the beautiful Sanskrit word is this word phala, fruit. Fruit means that which will perish. So all your effort is for what? All the attainments is for what? To lose. Punit, you can't get more pessimistic than this. Huh? You can't get more pessimistic than this in life, isn't it? All attainments are bound to lose. He's doing the comparative analysis. Here, there is no yad gatva nanivartante taddhama paramam mama. Yam prapya nanivartante taddhama paramam mama. Having gotten this, you don't lose it at all. Why? Because you are not getting it, you are that already. You are not getting it, you are that already. Recognizing that already. Adhik example in Upanetravat. 3 examples they give. Upanetravat, Dashamavat, Swakanta Varanavat. Swakanta Varanavat means the lady who got the necklace that she lost. She was wearing the necklace and she thought she lost it. And the husband says, very good, you lost it. Fantastic. And what is there around your neck? She touches it. Did she get it? It was there already. It was there already. Sometimes it happens, no? The fellow will wear the glass and ask, where is my glass? Where is my glass? Isn't it? It happens, no? Important degree. Oh, yeah. You didn't get it. You recognize that which is there already. Swapanda Varnavat, Banetravat. Third example is Dashamavat, the 10th fellow. The 10th fellow. Beautiful is the 10th fellow.
Correct.
Yeah. Guru had 10 disciples. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Sunday class students maybe like that group, 10 students, 10 wise students he had. And they all went to the market. So, one fellow has to get one thing. So when they all went to the market, the Guru said, Jagrade 10 peru thirumbi vandrunga, he said. All don't get lost. All 10 of you come back safely. And they all went to the market, went into the respective places, bought what all they have to buy. And when they reached the ashram gate, they said, let us check whether all of us are here. Let us check all of us are here. And they started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10th fellow is not there. Next fellow said, wait, I will count. And he counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th fellow is lost. All the 10 fellows counted and the 10th fellow is missing. They all started crying. And they went to the Guru. He said, we have a peculiar problem. What was the peculiar problem? We are very sure that one fellow is missing. But we are very clear that when one fellow is missing, who's that fellow that is missing? Yeah. Guru said, start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. கை இப்படியே இருக்குது இல்லையா? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. இப்படியே கவுண்ட் பண்ணிருந்தா you can never understand. Turn it. Who's the 10th? Who's the 10th fellow? He is the 10th fellow. So in counting, they were counting everybody else except themselves. So what will come? Only 9 will come. Yeah. Introverted இருந்தா புரியவே புரியாது. இப்படி பேசியிருந்தா you will never know. Turn the side. Yadgatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. Yam prapya nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. Having gotten this, you can never lose it. If this is not inspiring, motivating you, Arjuna, then what will motivate you? If this is not inspiring, if this is not motivating a person to seek it, then what will motivate a person? There is another method. What is the other method? Knocks and shocks. The fellow will wake up. Unless they get beaten up, they will not. They will see everybody around them getting beaten up. Isn't it? See, they will see everybody making a misery of their life in the name of love, which they misunderstand as attachment, but everybody will go and everybody will fall for it, no? Again and again. What can you do to that? You can only witness that. Yeah, you can only be a sakshi to that. What is a sakshi to that? You can get beaten up. Again, by getting beaten up also, you won't learn. Yeah. If getting beaten up is the way to learn, we all should have become wise by now. Isn't it? Because we all have received enough beatings in our life, no? At least I have received a lot. Huh? If those beatings itself can wake you up, we all should have become wise by now. It means knocks and shocks also cannot teach you. Adum pochu. Abdina, what is your only hope? Shastra Pramanam becomes your only hope. Shastra Pramanam becomes your only hope. Iti uchyate tam ahuhu paramam gatim. Iti uchyate tam ahuhu paramam gatim. All other destinations are material, subject to change. What is the nature of matter? Matter has variety. Matter has novelty. Matter has beauty, but no stability. But people say stability la vana sir, attractive or avladha. That's why they say beauty is skin deep, they say, no? You look at that and you fall for it, there is no stability in that. Why? Because it can go away any time. When it goes away any time, what will go out? Love also goes out. Huh? Of course, yes, sir. Because it will go out. Why? Because it is dependent on this love that is dependent on the skin will go when the skin changes. Where is the problem? There's no problem. Why? What is the nature of matter? Matter has variety. Variety. You understand variety, no? We are all in need of variety, isn't it? Same idli, not the same idli. Fresh idlis in the morning, fresh idlis in the afternoon, fresh idlis in the evening. Will you like it? Same idli na 10 நாள் முன்னாடி பண்ண idli இல்ல. Fresh idli in the morning, fresh idli in the afternoon, fresh idli in the evening. Will you like it? Idli is for morning, Mexican for lunch, and Thai for dinner. And so don't give me all that. Mexican for this and Thai for that. Variety. Matter is very appealing because variety. New. It looks very new. Yeah. iPhone 12, iPhone 13, iPhone 14. Novelty. New things keeps coming up. And what is the last thing? Beauty. So beautiful it is. Matter has variety, uniqueness, beauty, but no stability. Mind is looking for what? What are you looking for? Stability. Not all this. Where do you get all that? Yam prapya nivartante taddama paramam mama. When you keep me as the highest goal and you come to me, there is no going back. This is verse number, no verse. This is verse number 21. Yam prapya nivartante taddama paramam mama. Therefore, you negate all the known pramanams of pratyaksha, anumana, upamana, the known pramanams of the senses, the mind, the matter, all that you have analyzed, and you negate it because it is not giving you what you want. Since it is not giving you what you want, no point in chasing that. Shastra is saying, you come to me, you will get what you want. It's not that I am giving you that. Shastra is not saying, I am going to make you Brahman. Remember that last difference. Vedas, Vedanta is not saying, I am going to make you Brahman. Correct? It's not saying, I am going to make you Brahman. It's not going to say, I am going to transform you. It's not saying that. It's saying, you are that already. Look at the difference. Where everybody says, I will make you different, Vedanta says, I will make you know who you are. That's all. I am not going to give anything. Yam prapya nivartante taddhama paramamama tamahuhu tam ahuhu iti uktaha. They say, and when they say, it's a pramanam. All that you got to do is what? You will be able to accept it as an authority only when you have thought about all this and negated it. Shastram will become a pramanam only when you have thought about the world completely and found it wanting, useless. Then Shastram becomes a pramanam. Therefore, what Shastram does in the beginning, it will negate all this. It will help us to see the matter rightly. It will help us to see the world rightly and help us to, once you see it rightly, Shastra need not say negate it. You will become a sannyasi. Once you see it rightly, Raj, Purida, once you see it rightly, you will become a sannyasi. Don't tell Rekha, huh? Yeah, don't tell Sakshi also. Yeah. You will become a sannyasi. Nyasam na leaving. Nyasam nale left in artham. Sannyasam na well left. Yeah. At the test match, they leave the ball. No, when they leave the ball, they say well left, isn't it? Well left, now what does it mean? He saw the ball so clearly and he left it. Yeah. Not well left. He saw the ball and he left it. Yeah. That is sannyasa. Once you analyze it, once you understand it rightly, you will leave it. Shastram need not say leave it. You will leave it. And when you leave it, you are not losing anything. Why? Because Paramam Gatim you are getting. No, what are you losing? What are you getting? Paramam Gatim. And what is the nature of that Paramam Gatim? Yam prapyana nivartante taddama paramam. That is the nature of it. This is verse number 21. There are some clarifications on this verse number 21, which we will take it up in the next session, and then we will move on to verse 22 onwards. With this, we conclude for